of killing over the course of 63 years, or in the case of my father, the man I call my father. Like I said the other day, he's been murdering people since he was 12 years old. Um, so I have no, I have, I have no true idea of how many people that he's murdered. At the very least, I would say he's the first four-digit serial killer in America ever, maybe the world. Um, this man, he cannot get enough. He cannot do enough evil. He considers himself to be the actual living, breathing Antichrist. Um, so, just just to let you know. And at this time, I'd like to share. We'll get back to the Nancy Guthrie case, but at this time, I'd like to share with you that I am not delusional. I'm not having psychosis. I'm not just jumping to conclusions. Um, my family are indeed serial killers who have marked me for death since at least 1990. And the first I've solved six zodiac ciphers. Some of them are not even considered quote unquote zodiac ciphers, but they are in fact. One of the ones that are, I don't know if it's considered an official zodiac cipher or not, but it is this puzzle. It's called a celebrity cipher. The celebrity cipher was published in September of 1990, and there are approximately 6 or 8 victims mentioned in this cipher, which is a small number for the family I come from. But there's also one intended victim, and that would be myself. I'm listed as, uh, well, it's hard to explain, but I am considered, in the Burger Chef cipher, I am considered the lie, the Lake Tahoe Tot, LT Tot, and when I communicated directly, with the Zodiac, he has a website that he writes on daily. Last year I attempted to interact with him directly because I found out that he was planning on killing my ex-doctor. I sort of went on there mistakenly. I don't know, I was just desperate, I guess. But I wanted to plead with him not to murder her. And at that time, he informed me that he called me two things. He called me the twerp, and he called me the prize. And the prize was very telling because, as I shared with you the other day, this is patterned on a game called Chutes and Ladders. The whole goal of Chutes and Ladders, I've never played the game, I just researched it. But my understanding is it's a race to the number 100. And whoever gets to the 100 first is quote unquote the winner. I don't know much more than that. But I do know that on this line, right here, this line right here, where it begins with WILUOOF 100 LOTOBYW. Believe it or not, that is my specific line in this cipher. And what this line indicates is it's a threat to me that they're going to kill me, but it's a record of the people in my life that they have murdered. I'm surprised I'm not cracking up right here. Stick with it. Okay. Now, going one way, I'm not going to count them, but going one way is the 11th line, and going the other way is the 10th line. The 10th line corresponds to the 10th month of the year, which is October. The 11th line equals the word yo. On this line, you see the Y at the second position right here. Anyhow, what is intended is this is a record of at least 4 people in my life that my brother and my father have murdered. Okay? The first one, well, not the first one, but I'll just list them going in this order from right to left. This one here, from line 2 to number 4, equals the 24th of October, which was my best childhood friend or teenage friend, whose name was Tilly Marshall Heine. He was murdered at 4012 Heather Lane on October 24th of 1991 by my brother Mike, who shot him in the head. My father and my brother took him in the Datsun diesel pickup, little blue pickup we had, dumped his body off in the alley in the back of 7-Eleven, called the police, and said, I just saw a guy. He jumped the fence and he shot himself in the head in this alley back here. You better come quick. Anyhow, from that day on, my friend's death was labeled a quote-unquote suicide. Okay? I want to swear, I'm not going to. Save it for any day. Moving on, this O at the 6th position, that O, once again, the whole line, to begin with, it begins with 10, which again is October. It changes, but this line here, this O here, goes with this Y here. Let me see, where's it? This Y here. So basically, it's the 26th. So on the 26th of October of 1970, my mother, Mary Catherine Nolet, lured a very handsome doctor who was the head of a hospital in Lake Tahoe. He was the department chair, I think you call it. She lured him to his death. He had just been going through a divorce, was probably having a hard time. And my mother was a very attractive, petite, blue-eyed brunette. Well, what the doctor didn't know was when she told him that let's go to the Leviathan mine, he was not aware that she was taking him there so that the man that raised me, that I'm named after, could torture, rape, and murder him. Anyhow, that was my biological father, and I did not know that until about 18 months ago when I solved, well, I can't say I completely solved it, but I've spent over 10,000 hours getting answers on the Scorpion cipher. One of my answers is that I'm the biological son of this. I'm the biological son. I don't use the term very often, but there's going to be a step above handsome, okay? This is a gorgeous man, okay? This is my biological father. I wish I was half as good looking as him. Anyhow, his name is Charles Lorraine Hollingsworth. His real name, I think his name that he was born under, is Charles Rosencrantz. There was a time of the 1930s, and apparently the family is Jewish, and they wanted to basically avoid persecution. But that is my biological father, who I never got to meet. So moving forward, as if that wasn't enough, to add further injury to injury, on this line, there are more victims. So now we move from 0 to 0. Oh, I forget. If my life wasn't hard enough in high school, I could not figure out why people were calling me Zero. And it quickly spread throughout the wrestling team, then throughout the whole school. And for four years, I had to shoulder the burden of being called Zero, which I guess in the long term strengthened me quite a bit. I mean, I'm past it far enough to share it with you guys. But I now am sure that the person that I called my father, and likely my mother too, for who I did not know was my sworn enemy. She always pretended like she was my best friend. Anyhow, one or both of them, I firmly believe, paid people at my high school to persecute me, to try to get me to basically commit suicide. They've done a lot of different things to try to get me to commit suicide throughout my life, and that's just one of them. But that was very painful at the time, very painful even for years after. I'm surprised I'm sharing it with you guys. But thank you again for being so kind to a lot of you people that in my first video. I'm feeling like I can openly share more than I did a few days ago. So your comments have been really healing, and thank you. I like to think that I don't care what people think anymore. I've done 14 years of therapy. I've made a lot of progress, but in the end, I don't know. I guess everybody likes a hug. Everybody likes some affirmation. Everybody likes some kindness in their life. So there's nothing abnormal or unusual about that. Just I've had a huge deficit in my life. It's amazing I'm still alive, to tell you the truth. But let's move on. In 1987, my person that I called my father. Let me show you a picture of him, by the way. You can't see it very well, but this is a picture of him. He's 80-something years old right in this picture here. You can't see it very well, but if you guys want to get a better picture vision of him, you can go to my brother and my nephew's webpage on YouTube. Sorry, I can't hold very steadily. I'm a little rattled. I'm trying to get through this, guys. Anyhow, that's a picture of him. If you want to see a better picture of him, go to their website. It's called, on YouTube, it's called Dyna, D-Y-N-A, Mike, M-I-K-E, then the numbers 9-7. And in September of 2024, you'll see a video entitled something along the effects of El Chapo's new 2016 Harley touring motorcycle or something. I'm not getting it exactly right. But September of 2016, and just imagine my shock when the man that I wrote the online obituary for this man, by the way, I tried my best to love him, gave literally decades of my life to him and my mother, acted as their family therapist, acted as their mutual therapist, peacekeeper, on and on and on. And just, I fucking regret every second that I did it, okay? Because now these people want to murder me for asking for, quote unquote, my half of the house. I gave them my life, like literally gave them decades of my life, emotionally supporting both of them. And the way they want to thank me is putting a hit out on me, ordering me murdered by my brother, my nephew, and a family friend who's one member of their church. And in this video, I'm going to call him Officer W. Officer W from Napa Sheriff's Department is a member of this organization. Officer W is the one that did a fake autopsy on Richard Dick Nolet, who once again I wrote the obituary that's online for. He declared a living serial killer to be dead, and that in turn has allowed many more people to be murdered. And I am currently on the list of targets for them to murder. Once again, number 100, or where is it? Number 100. This is my whole line, okay? I don't know where I left off with, but I'm going to finish with counting down these victims. The third victim goes from 4, which equates to April, and 8. I don't know if that's that one. I don't know. I think it's that one. 4-8. 4-8, April 8th of 1987, an 86 or 87-year-old man from Orange County was murdered, but they don't call it a murder because my dad has friends in low places. All of these people in this so-called church have friends in low places. And when I say low places, I mean high places. What I mean by low places is I mean high places. I just said what I meant, and I meant what I said, and on and on and on. What I'm talking about is they have strong connections in all levels of law enforcement. And I'm including three-letter organizations, and I'm including local organizations, including NAPA. So moving on. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Moving on. Let me finish with that thought. So, an elderly man by the name of Charles Rosencrantz was the father of Charles Hollingsworth, which I showed the picture of a little while ago. He was my biological grandfather. Well, at the end of the 1980s, this would have been 1987, I believe, DNA was coming along, and one of the forerunners in DNA was, of course, a three-letter organization that will remain unnamed at this point. Maybe I'll name it further in the video. Basically, the man that raised me has been a member of two or more three-letter law enforcement organization since the early 60s. He's been, I don't know what you call it. In street jargon, it's called wet work man. It's basically a person that eliminates quote-unquote undesirable people. Anyhow, the reason that my biological grandfather was murdered was to obtain the DNA in order to confirm his long suspicions of me not being his biological son, which he confirmed. And once again, in 1990, when I would have been just 19 years old, he put out this, which is the Celebrity Cipher, Celebrity Cipher that he mailed to the Vallejo Times-Herald. That was the first written promise of death. That promise of death was for 1991, so he was going to murder me the coming year around October. I was going to be a sacrifice, but what they did was they inserted, at the time I was getting along with him. Ironically, him and I were delivering Chronicle newspapers every morning, and we got along really well for that summer. So I don't know if that's the reason he decided to change the script or what. I don't know. But either way, change the script. They murdered my friend Kelly Heine, who was just 17 years old. Let's just finish up this line. Finishing up this line, I don't know where it is, but in May, the fourth person on this line was murdered in May of 2020. Once again, that was my best friend, Nestor Israel Gillen. Okay, sorry for keeping you guys. You want to see Nancy Guthrie, that's what you're here for. You're not here about me. Sorry, guys. I want to share about me because I am under the threat of being killed once again by the man that raised me, Dick Nolet, my brother Mike, and Officer W from the Napa Police Department. Once again, the man who faked my serial killer, quote-unquote, father's death in November of 2008. And I spoke with Officer W, and he stared me straight in the eyes and told me the whole story about the autopsy and this and that and this and that, and it's all bullshit. And nobody would risk their whole career. I mean, this is a long career. Nobody would risk their standing as one of the best men, great men, outstanding men in the fucking Napa community unless they had something bigger hanging over their fucking head. Sorry, I won't swear for a while. Okay, let's move on. before going to Nancy Guthrie. Okay, guys? That N right there represents the number 5. Okay? That G right there represents the number 8. The number 20 is represented right down here. But this also represents the number 21, which is Nancy's murder date. The zeros on each side create finish Nancy Guthrie's address. I'm going to repeat it a few times. Once again, Nancy Guthrie's address was 5820 Escalante or something. I don't remember the exact name. Once again, N5 G8 N20. The letters right here, I yo, Mike is saying, yo, I murder Nancy Guthrie, 2-1 right here. Once again, they made this puzzle in September of 2019, over 6 years before they went for Nancy Guthrie. Now, if you don't believe that my brother was involved, I'll show you where the name is hidden. First of all, you have NO right here. As above, so below. As to the right, so to the left. The left and the right work together in this puzzle, as do the top and the bottom. Okay? One corresponds with the other. They communicate back and forth. Now, another form of obfuscation that they use to tremendous effect in this puzzle. It's a very difficult puzzle, by the way. One tool that they use to tremendous effect is what I call divide and conquer. They put one part of the word here, one part of the word down here. One up here, one down there. One up here, one down there. Okay? Sorry for repeating myself. I'm trying to get this message through you guys, okay? Once again, the beginning of the NOLET name, which is November Oscar Lima Echo Tango Tango Echo. I just wanted to say that in the video, sorry guys. NO begins here. LETT right here. Third line down. LETTE. Okay. You might be wondering why you put the E up here. I'll show you guys in a second, as long as I remember to get back to it. His name is also right here. Mike was born on the 23rd of August of 1974. The letters M and W represent Mike.
Oh my
however,
God.
Mike is once again represented in this letter W. The letter W is intended to be turned upside down. Turn the frown upside down. Let's get a smile in here, guys. This letter becomes an M, but it's also Officer W, by the way. This becomes an M. Then you have the I-K-E. Michael goes by the name Mike. This is his name right here. This is him claiming credit for it. And by the way, before I forget to mention it, Nancy Guthrie was put near the dam. This third letter down, 3-3 right here, the letter D. Sorry for being so shaky, guys. This letter D at 3-3, position 3 down, 3 over from left to right, corresponds and is meant to be combined with these letters, D-I-K-E. A dike is another form of a dam, okay? So that's one of the clues there. Getting back to this, I mentioned the other day about IWAS and the demons that are surrounding the victims' names. Okay, once again, the letter M is one of the 4 signifiers for Nancy Guthrie, who was murdered on 2/1 of this year, February 1st. That's what that equates to. Right here, Mike has put his initials because he was born on 23rd of August of 1974. So what's hidden here
opposite.
is the word EIWAS. It's in the form of a smoking pipe. And that is Aleister Crowley's smoking pipe, before I forget to mention it. That will become a theme in the Zodiac ciphers. It goes all the way back to the original cipher that the man who raised me, the man I called my father, released on the 1st of August of 1969. His name is hidden in the shape of Aleister Crowley's smoking pipe, as is Mike's name right here, his initials, and right together with it, the name Mike. As father, as son. Okay? This is the shape that it makes. It's a modified smoking pipe. Okay? Now, moving on, before I forget to mention it, I did want to mention up the demon ball is hidden right here. B-A-L. B-A-L. Okay? This is not only just under Nancy Guthrie's murder date, which is right here, but it's also under another woman's person who was abducted on the 25th of March of this year, Amy Hilliard. She's represented by this Y right here. Her name is down here, right here. Her name is on that position 7-3 and 7-4. Before I forget to mention it, throughout this puzzle, the letter O represents something that they abhor, which is Christian. Anybody that's Christian is a zero. They're worthless, they're hated, they're despised. Okay? So once again, the demons, B-A-L, over here, E-I-W-A-S, in the shape of Aleister Crowley's smoking pipe, which is also combined with Mike's initials. Okay? And I'm going to trace the last name again for you guys. N-O-L-E-T-T-E. Okay? Mike considers him to be Aiwass. Him and Aiwass are one and the same. He is possessed by demons, and Aiwass apparently is at the top of his list. Going back to Aleister Crowley, they consider him to be the father of Satanism. So once again, he is his father's son, both his father Dick and his father Aleister Crowley. He has hidden his name in the shape of a smoking pipe, just as Dick Nolette did in his cipher, the first cipher, which was a Z408 in 1969. So once again, I don't know if I'm wasting time or just I need to repeat myself. I'll just trace the address for you one more time. So 5820. NG is 8. 20 is the N, but it's also 21. That's when she was murdered. Once again, I-yo means I murdered Nancy. Let's see. So I told you all of the letters are polysemous, which means they represent more than one thing depending on the situation. Or even in the same situation, they can represent different things. This begins with we kill for our paw. Then it says zero God. They're saying that there is no God. Mike is actually saying that he's God. You want to see where the 8, which represents Mike's birth month is, it's on the G. Okay? He considers himself the ligature God. Okay? Ligature is spelled out. That's another thing that I need to explain about this puzzle. There are very few correct spellings in this puzzle. Most of it is spelled phonetically, like a child might spell it. The word ligature has been spread out, but not too far, but it's spelled phonetically. It's spelled L-I-G here in the yellow, G-I-T here in the yellow again, and U, those are the different syllables of the word ligature. And going back to the word Mike, once again, begins here with the W, which is supposed to be Jones, M-I-K-E-S. So Mike's 101 special means Mike's one-on-one special.
Okay, thank you guys.
Nobody watching this video ever wants to experience Mike's one-on-one special. Trust me when I tell you that. Okay. Because Mike's one-on-one special involves every kind of horrific beating, stabbing, anything you can imagine that would physically or mentally traumatize the person. Okay. They want to put the person. Basically, they want to take your soul. Before you die, they want your soul to leave your body and to be able to capture that for themselves. That's how they see things. They want your energy and your soul.